Joining us now is Pennsylvania Attorney General Josh Shapiro. Pennsylvania is, of course, one of the states being sued by Texas and 17 other Republican-controlled states that are trying to have Pennsylvania's election results thrown out. Attorney General Shapiro, I really appreciate you taking the time to join us this evening. Thanks for being here.
Good to be with you, Rachel.
I apologize for being a little head up. I'm a little. I feel some personal emotion.
You set it up perfectly.
Let me ask you okay, tell me if I got any of it wrong or if I put the wrong emphasis on any of this.
No, I mean, I was going to use a more diplomatic phrase like uniquely unserious to describe the lawsuit. I think you just went with dumb and stupid. I'll adopt your terms. It really is. And it is based on this lawsuit, based on debunked tweets and conspiracy theories, lies that haven't held up in court. And now we find ourselves with the president and some of these attorneys general trying to spin their wheels and thwart the will of the people in at least 4 states.
You and your fellow attorneys general from Michigan and Wisconsin issued a statement after this lawsuit was filed, calling it an insignificant attempt. You said these insignificant attempts to disregard the will of the people in our states mislead the public and tear at the fabric of our Constitution. And that's exactly where I'm at with this story. I both believe that this is insignificant and frivolous and, forgive me, but sort of dumb, and also that it's dangerous because it is making a mockery of the idea of the democratic process be the way that we settle things in this country, and making a mockery of the idea that the court should be called upon to decide legitimate differences that require judicial intervention rather than just partisan power.
You know, Rachel, I would just say they're attempting to make a mockery of it. You know, for the last 4 years, the president of the United States has attacked every institution, including the courts. But what we have seen throughout this process, a process that began in Pennsylvania before Election Day and has gone on since, is that the courts have held, federal courts and state courts, justices and judges that were appointed by Republicans and Democrats or elected as Republicans or Democrats. They have abided by the rule of law. And, you know, law enforcement officials like me have stood up and said, look, we're going to root out any type of voter fraud. We haven't seen any. And we're going to stand up to the attacks on our system. We have weathered that. It is, of course, sad that we have a president of the United States who is attempting to sow doubt and in some people's minds has succeeded. It is sad that we have this lawsuit filed by the Attorney General of Texas. And I will tell you, Rachel, it's especially sad for me that 17 other attorneys general have gone along with this process. By the way, some attorneys general that I've worked with, you talked about it a few moments ago, the Facebook lawsuit that we filed today. And, you know, we've worked constructively in the past. I don't know, whether to call a surgeon to try and repair the spines of some of these individuals or a psychiatrist to examine their heads. But something's wrong. They are afraid of something. And it is up to us to continue to speak truth. And it is up to the courts to continue to do what they've been doing, which is to follow the law. And here's what I know to be true. On Monday, the Electoral College will meet and they will issue 306 votes for Joe Biden. And he will be sworn in as the next president of the United States on January the 20th.